I'm so happy to be talking with you again. And I mean, just the presence of your energy, which I mentioned our previous time meeting, and finally, after the technical issues, we're able to get the call going. And as the technical issues were happening, I'm like, man, isn't this a wonderful reminder of a lesson? Because I was feeling myself getting the anxiety
Yes,
and feeling that disconnection because my mind is thinking, wait, this should not be happening. This isn't the way it should be. It should be working correctly. I should be meeting Guruji on time. What's he gonna think of me? Like, my mind is going through this whole discussion, and then I was
see,
like, "Okay, we just talked about this before. Let me get connected to my breath, and then the
yes,
way things happen is the way things happen, right?"
yes. There are there are three lessons with this, network trouble. I have been telling all my people, if you want to start something or do something, be prepared for that. Get a trial at least 5 to 10 minutes prior to that session. I always tell. And in my life, if I want to drive or start my journey at 7 o'clock, I will prepare just 10 or 15 minutes prior to that plan. I will be ready and I will make a trial. Because right from the beginning, I have been, as I told you, I was a fighter. So if after 3 months the fight is fixed, 90 days we visualize the fight. We study the plus and minus of the opponent. Actually, when we reach into the right time for fight, actually we don't feel that anything new. The mind is already preoccupied. That action will be permitted to the muscles. Here also, now they were trying, yes, this time it will come, this time it will come. But you are also waiting for the right time. Then nature said, come on, learn this. This is not. We could have made some trial like at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes ahead. Then this trouble would have been rectified. This is in life everywhere. We have to see exact moment, the punctuality we say, modern mind will say punctual. It
Yes.
is nothing is punctual in nature. That is the second lesson. We are all thinking of everything is reductionist. No, nothing is linear. Everything is non-linear. This also I got. Then for me, yes, whenever I feel that, I come with a certain frame, and if some delay is there, I used to feel little upset. Today I said, no, this is your lesson. Don't be upset. I was telling myself. So I didn't change the energy. It's so pleasant and it's a good lesson for me also. Good.
Okay, so you still you still have challenges.
Yes.
No. Okay, all right. I don't feel that bad then when I have challenges.
Yes, we should not feel sad or bad, but that challenges we should expect.
Yes, yes. It's hard to maintain that knowing when our culture, our society, we constantly get feedback in work, in the workplace, right? Or even in your family life. If you're
Yes.
late for something, your wife
Yeah.
makes a big deal, or your parents. As a child,
Yes.
your very strict parents said, "Hey, this was done wrong and you have to do it right." So there's in culture, there's that ingrained feeling automatically when something's not happening right, there's that feeling of anxiety.
See, that is again, anxiety is good. Some people say anxiety is not good. Many people ask me, I am addicted to this. Do you accept addiction, Guruji? I say, yes, everybody should be addicted. They say, how can it be? Addiction has positive and negative reactions. If I am addicted to learn something, and if I fix a target to study this one, then I should be addicted to fulfill that. That is positive addiction. If I look back all my life, all my different phases of life, I had gone through, I was addicted. When I decided to search for the truth of death, anybody who knew me said that you're crazy. What are you doing? You're going to lose everything. But I was addicted to that, target. But I could achieve it. That is why I tell people nothing is impossible, but you should be addicted to that. See, again, modern science says if a particular thought can be brought into alpha activity, it will materialize.
Today, I really wanted to get our listeners and myself to really know you as a person. And I thought for that, we would take you back to your childhood and talk a little bit about how were you like as a child and then basically go from there. So, like, how were you as a child?
As a child, if my memory goes to a certain level, I can remember from things around the age of 3 or 4, like that. I can remember even now. We were 7 children in a very busy family. My father was he was a physician, Ayurveda physician, and a Vedic scholar. Veda is like the 4 books of Indian or Hindu tradition, from which all other differences are, or the different paths are derived. Even now, if one particular school of thought is introduced by a new master, if it is going matching with the fundamental theory of Vedas, it will be incorporated. Otherwise, it will be discarded as unorthodox. So my father was well versed in Vedas, then the Puranic, the historical and traditional stories. So, and nobody was taking care of children. We were free. My mother was busy in business. We were making the fiber, kaya making. So we were supposed to survive by ourselves. If you are hungry, nobody is there to take care of you. You are supposed to go to the kitchen. Either you take something and eat or ask grandma, come on, I am hungry, get me something like that. And shower. We used to go to the well or go to the pond. It's up to us. So like that, it was completely free. And when I go to the school also, for 4.5 years, I started going to my preschool. We call it tuition. My elder sisters used to go. I was also going. But when I come back from the pre-tuition, preschool, usually I was alone. Narrow pathways. If a stray dog is coming against you, nobody is there to protect. Then either you should run away from the dog or you should fight back to the dog. So every time as a child, I was confronting many things. That was the thing. Third thing, it was a joint family. So the elders' problems were not properly hidden from children. So we were exposed to listen their talks. Like my father used to get into political talks or arguments, Vedic discussions. So as a child, things were implanted in me. And the problems of the elders also bit surprising to me. And sometimes they act like friends. The moment they move away from that in secret or in the private discussions, they're talking very negative against the person whom they hugged. So as a child, I was a bit confused. So that time, these guys were hugging and they went to the other side talking very bad about among each other. So these positives and negatives, plus and minus, all these things were exposed to me. Then I was a bit curious. What is the purpose of this drama?
Yes.
I was not serious. So right from the beginning, I was exposed into we can say, the false face of life. People were pretending that we are very generous and we are loving, but I could feel that, or as a child, I sensed that, no, they are acting.
As a child, you're very perceptive
Yes,
and you were very thoughtful as a child to have noticed that.
yes. And my house was very close to the backwater. Kerala is the land of rivers and backwaters and big lakes, huge lakes, very deep. As a child, I used to dive into the water, go to the depths. Even at the age of 4 or 5, I used to dive. And I was curious to listen the sound of silence. When I go deep into the water and I want to listen, what is that sound? I was so curious to see what is under the water. Then this is a land of coconut trees, like a 50 feet, 100 feet, the coconut trees will grow. I used to climb like a squirrel and go to the top and look downwards, how it looked like. As a child, I was so curious. I used to get a lot of lashings also because of that. It was dangerous, both the water, attempt or the climbing on tree also. As a child, it was dangerous and I used to be punished. But later, I came to know, yes, I wanted to see things from different angles. So that is how my childhood was.
I can still sense that playful energy still within you somewhere. As a child, did you have a knowing that someday your life would be where it is now? Like it would take a spiritual kind of progression or route. Did you have that knowing as a child?
No,
No.
I never thought that I would become a spiritual master or spiritually established person. Because my all hopes and dreams were depending on my body. I was so keen to maintain my body. I used to eat a lot. I used to spend my energy, work out a lot. As a child, I used to climb on trees, run, swim like that, unknowingly. When I reached to the age of 15, when I started my high school and I was allowed to take decisions, I became a very strict bodybuilder. There was
Wow.
also, yeah, I was the Mr. SN college. I mean, in my college, I was the Mr. SN college. So bodybuilding, body was my dream. So I used to dance a lot. I used to do the bodybuilding, gymnastics, boxing, this traditional martial art. So that was my hope. I never thought that I become spiritual. The spiritual thought came when I confronted the reality of life when I was in Oman. There I felt body is mortal. It started perishing and one day I will lose my body. That
Yeah.
was that was the turning point. But as a child, I never bothered about the spirituality. Sometimes even I used to tease my father and mother because they were very spiritual and ritualistic. I used to say that these are all primitive beliefs and you're simply wasting time. Be scientific, like that I used to say.
Oh wow. Okay. And now look at where you are today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing is happening the way we think and pursue.
Yes. And tell us about your time in Oman. I know you were like a healer there, right? What sort of things were you doing there?
Actually, I went there as a karate master, looking for an opening as the master to teach somewhere. That was the offer when I got the visa, also work visa. But when I reached there, I came to know the karate which I learned was not very systematic because I saw people from Japan and Korea as karate masters. So that then immediately I felt that I should not present myself as a karate master.
Hmm.
Then I presented myself as a Kalari instructor. Kalari is the mother of all martial arts. When I showed my some of my performances, these masters, whom I was having great respect, came and touched my feet. That made the real shift because as an Indian, I didn't know much about the rich tradition of India, even the martial art. I thought this Kalari is a medical oriented martial art. That much only I knew. But when I started exchanging ideas with the senior karate masters, they knew much more than I knew about India. The tradition, how the martial arts developed, the different dimensions. So that gave me a different space. So I started learning in its deep level and I was practicing this one with the real surrendered mind, with real surrendered mind. Earlier it was a profession. Later it became a practice. And I was so successful as a healer. Means like there are 108 energy points. As a child, I used to listen and see. And there are 12 points through which you can kill a person. Even with your fingertip, If the finger is strengthened by doing proper exercise, you can use the finger. It was used ancient time as a war technology. Sometimes they will be disarmed. They will be standing there empty hand. So then they were trained to use their limbs as powerful weapons. And how you can stop a very powerful guy by touching the nerve points, technical points. Then this can be used as medicine also. This is what slowly I learned. A tool can be used as weapon also, a surgical blade. If it is given to a surgeon, he can give a life with that blade. The same blade can.
So was it during this time that you were learning those pressure points, so your time in Oman? That's
No,
when
no,
you were.
no, no.
Oh, you learned it before.
There I got the right chances to perform my efficiency, my talent.
Yes. And then slowly you started to be known as a healer, right? Is that
Yes,
right?
yes. I was very popular as I was known as the guy with the magic fingers.
Okay. All right. Tell me about the moment, that exact moment where you realized the body's not everything and it that triggered you to, I'm going to go find a guru. Like, tell me about that moment because I think that moment's really important and powerful.
As I told you, I was very strict in my body maintenance. Like I had a schedule, 7 days a week, 1 day rest, 6 days I used to practice. 1,500 punches as a boxer every day, 800 kicks, like a 200 side kick, 200 roundhouse kick, 200 front kick, like that. I was practicing. Right from the beginning, I used to have a discipline like that. One day, just I was throwing a punch as a practice. I felt little pain in my left elbow. So I felt, okay, something is there. I applied some balm and everything. But next day, I couldn't punch because it was painful. Then gradually the pain increased. I felt all over the body, the fatigue, and I didn't have the thrill to practice. So I went to the doctor. They gave me some supplements, but the pain was same. Then within few weeks, I came to know I should survive with this uneasiness. That was a beginning. Then I learned to survive with uneasiness. In between, I had some painkillers. First time I was using painkillers and practicing, but I felt that no, something is changing at the age of 25. Then I was very busy with healing also. Attached to that, another incident happened when I was called to for a royal family, office, very urgent. The secretary called, yes, Yogi, are you available to come? Highness wants to meet you. I said, okay, I'm coming. From the palace car came. I rushed to Highness house. I saw Highness was on bed, lying on there, and two doctors from Germany were there. The situation was, I knew that Highness was ill, but all treatments now in that country failed. They sent a royal flight to Germany, brought two doctors. See, these people, they can buy everything. Either with money power or muscle power, things will be available for them. So these doctors were given blank checks. This is how they manage. Royal flight is going, giving blank check, they can come from any country. So these doctors, the moment they saw me, they started saying some technical things and, oh yeah, this one, and we tried this. Body is not reacting to medicine. Technically saying, I didn't know anything about their explanations. But I came to know they are helpless. Then the Highness was looking at me with hope. The moment I focused on his eyes, I came to know everybody is, you know, going to face this moment, the helplessness. And I can say, I'm sorry to use the word uselessness. What we feel that I got this, I maintained this, I possess this. I used to see how this Highness, he was a terror in front of others. The way he take decisions, fast decision maker. And sometimes he's ruthless. Or when the safety of the country comes, safety of the people comes, he's ruthless. So I could witness many of his situations, and then now I saw he was 100% helpless, begging for a help to come out from that situation. He was dying.
I see.
Yes. That I could sense his energy. That triggered something in me saying that, Shiva, you are also going to be defeated like this. It was a lesson. There I lost all confidence, all hope about my body. Around 15 to 18 years, I have been very, very proud of my body and my strength and my fast actions and accuracy. I lost everything. That was the point where I felt, yes, all joints were giving me pain. So those symptoms immediately I could connect each other. This one, that incident or that moment gave me a confirmation that you are mortal. Your body started perishing and it is going to fall. That
And
was
that
the turning point.
and that's when you decided, hey, I'm gonna go back to
Yes.
India, look for a guru, and what was your mindset there? What were you like, hey, I need to find out the meaning of life? Like, what were the questions that you were trying to answer in your own mind?
See, this is after I left from Highness office, Highness house, within 3 to 4 days, I came to know he passed away. Then around the 2 to 3 weeks, I have been really thinking of all these things. Then I started thinking of my father, my mother, my grandma. I saw the death of my grandma, how people were, having that pain and all these things, and some dramas also. So everything just came as a flashback. So it took around 1 month for me to just process the thought and finally take a decision to find out whether there is something beyond the body or not. Because I heard as a child, I was totally into the immortality of existence in the stories. Most of our masters, like Lord Hanuman, you might have heard about, there is a god who is a monkey's face. So Lord Hanuman is immortal. And there are many warriors like Bhishma. Many characters are there. They were immortal. How a person can be immortal, whether it is available in the story or is possible in the daily life. That was my search. Then I became a little more serious in modern studies also. I started reading books in physics, then chemistry, talking about energy manifestation and management. There I came to know similarities in modern science and ancient science. That time, even Dr. Deepak Chopra, they were thinking of, this ageless body. Certain articles were there. So I was so keen on that. Then
Yeah.
I started exploring the possibilities. Then I came to know these masters were living in seclusion and they had gone through strict practice in management of the heat of the body. Heat in Sanskrit, tapa. Tapa is heat. So
Yeah.
when they learned to play with that body temperature, they could find different dimensions of mind. That is clearly written in almost all books. Once they get control over the body temperature and they could exist, they could maintain their consciousness in different dimension without the support of the body. That is what modern science were thinking, agelessness, ageless body.
Yeah.
There I came to know, yes, there is a light in the darkness. For that, there must be master for guiding you to the real practice. There I decided to quit Oman, come back to India in search of a real guru, experienced master.
And so you traveled the whole country. How did you know when you met the right teacher for you, the right guru for you?
I was very particular in three questions. First, I used to focus on the master's eye. I wanted to feel whether this person is matching with my vibration or not. Anyhow, like when a child goes to the mother, mother doesn't want to just say something, the child will feel some kind of comfort. I was so sensitive in these points also. Whenever I used to sit on the lap of my father, I used to sense some kind of confidence. As a child, if I'm scared of something, the moment I think of my father, I used to be very, a bit defensive or offensive. Like that, I was very particular. I used to focus on this eyes and say, "Excuse me, sir, is there a God?" That was my first question.
What were some of the interesting answers that you got to that?
Everybody said, "Yes, there is God." Immediately they become very happy and pleasant. My second question, "Have you seen him?" That was my second question. But that question was not answered clearly. People say, God is beyond our senses. God cannot come to you. It cannot be seen. It cannot be touched. I said, I'm sorry. Are you confirming that God is beyond our senses, or have you experienced God? Have you seen God, or you touched God, or you sensed God? There is no clear answer.
What was your third question?
Third question, let me go, sir, or should I be here? If you are capable of teaching me, I can be there. Otherwise, let me go. That was my thing. Very particular in three things.
And then tell me when you found the guru for you, what was that meeting like that made you say, okay, yes, I want to learn here?
I repeated hundreds of masters. I saw this. Third question was not necessary even because whether I should stay or not. Because when I reached to the second question, I used to sense that they were not comfortable with me. So indirectly, they were saying that, please move away from here.
Oh, this guy's asking me too much. You're too intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I met the real master, I was a bit skeptical also because around 9, 10 months of wander, it's like a strenuous journey and the famous masters, and they were glorified by many people. When we come to the real point, I came to know they are all intellectual legends, but they are not real sages. In between, I saw two people, real sages, but that time I didn't know they were real sages. But later, I could come to know they were very careful about my search, and they gave me some tips that we will discuss later. But it revealed to me after 2 to 3 years of real practice. When I met my real guru, this is what happened. I looked at him, I bowed to him, I said, "Sir, is there a God?" And he said, "Yes, there is God." Of course, not strange, everybody said. And I was a little bit tough about my second question, "Have you seen God?" I was a bit sarcastical also because I was tired of searching. Then I got a slap on my face by through words. Hey, he looked at me, "You are wrong." I said, "Sorry, how can I be wrong?" He said, "You said, have you seen God?" That is past tense. God doesn't have past or future. He is. I said, "Sorry, I didn't get you." He said, "I see God. I have not seen God. I see God as I see you." That was a very clear, like a statement of confidence. I said, "So you are seeing God?" "Yes, I see God as I see you, my child." He was bold and mild. I said, "Okay." Then I felt I am defeated because I was prepared to ask my third question, whether you will be able to train me or not to get a confirmation. That was not necessary. Then I looked at him. Only one thing, without any planning, I asked, "If you are seeing God, sir, can you teach me to reach that level because I want to see God?" And he
And
said,
what was the answer that you got back?
"Sorry,
And what was his answer back to you?
see, I was actually nervous and I felt little emptiness also. That is the point he really caught me. I went beyond my senses. I felt it. Then only thing in my mind, I felt I am surrendering to this master. It was a feeling.
The
It
feeling,
was,
an
yeah,
intuition.
Yeah, it was sincerely, very sincerely. I might have asked this question: can I see him? Then the most, rejuvenating answer: not only you, everybody can see God. Then he started asking questions. He said, okay, if God come in front of you, are you capable of seeing him or sensing him? Are you strong enough to withstand his energy? Then I said, I was practicing karate, kalari, I had a disciplined life. And he smiled. He said, God doesn't want your karate or kalari. You should be able to open your third eye, sixth sense. Then only you can withstand the presence of God. If you want to open the third eye, sit here. Otherwise, go away. Very bold and clear meeting. That was the point where I met my real master.
I love that story. There's just so many. I mean, I can clearly see you as this healthy, physically fit young man trying to get the answers in life you are used to, go straight, direct. You're boxing, right? The most direct strikes. And here you are trying to find spiritual answers where it's different. Maybe you're not able to get that direct answer that you want this time.
But in between, a lot of changes happened. The moment I left Oman, I mentally, by person, I became a monk. I stopped eating non-veg because from the books, I was instructed to go through strict disciplines. I became a real follower. I stopped eating non-veg. I stopped doing my exercises, frequently intermittent fasting. I just did. Then I lost my weight. Body became thin. I grew my beard and wore my saffron. By all means, I became a monk mentally, physically, and in appearance also. People were looking at me, and some of them were bowing. Some of them were saying that, oh, another madman is coming. So, like that. But I was not touched with any one of these things because I was really totally detached from material life because I was preparing my mind for finding the guru and adopting the you know life of a sage. Around
Yes.
1 year, it was a strict discipline by myself.
So tell me about another breakthrough or another aha that you had when you were learning under the guru. What was the next thing that happened where you feel like, okay, I reached another stage or the next opening of my awareness? What was that moment?
It was like one day I used to see him frequently. He was not Nobody was allowed to stay in his monastery. He was like a very, very normal person, ordinary person who loved his loneliness. What I saw other places, its crowd was there. Then the master, how many millions of followers are there? That was the defined value of the master. But this master never allowed anybody to be with him. He was enjoying his loneliness, and he was very particular in teaching people. Come to the point, take it or deny and go. That is it. So once 11 times I visited him. Whenever I go to him with a particular question, because I was very, very strict and skeptical and getting into a practice, because I didn't want to take a risk. Because from the books also, I came to know if you do wrong practices, especially in spiritual field, it can give you many side effects. So that is why I was very particular. After around 11 days of visit or 11 visits, he asked me to be there for one particular day. That was the full moon day. Then one of my other friends who was supporting master, then asked me to bring a betel leaf. This betel leaf is used to give some kind of presentation to masters, unconditional presentation. So I was advised to buy that. With that one, I was waiting there. Exactly when reached to around 12 o'clock night, I was called to his meditation room, private meditation room. First time I was allowed to go there. He was sitting in a meditative pose. I was asked to sit in front of him. Then he took one plate where he burned some camphor. Yes, he burned some camphor and he held in front of me. So I just asked to look at that flame. I was looking at him. Immediately he took out that flame and asked me to focus on his center of eyebrows. When I looked at him, I felt that the image of that flames were in his eyes, in the pupils. So it was a strange feeling. And he was not even blinking. He was looking at me. And I felt that light was exchanged. All of a sudden, he held both hands on my head and pulled towards his chest. Forehead. I lost my consciousness. See, it can happen. It's only a trick. When we look at somewhere and immediately that object is pushed to your eyes, it will be, eyes will take little time to adjust. So he shook it. Then he asked it to focus on his eyes again. When I looked at him, I saw somebody standing there. Yes, that was the image of the founder of the Siddha lineage, Agastya Muni.
So instead of seeing your master, you saw the founder standing in front of you.
Yes, that was my first.
Were you conscious, or were your eyes were open and you saw that?
Eyes were
Okay.
open. Yes.
Okay.
Again, it was a technical infusion initially. Then he asked me, "Do you see somebody there?" I said, "Yes, somebody is standing there."
He
I said,
knew.
"Yes."
Okay.
I said, as a naive child, I said, "Yes, somebody is standing there." Look again, focus on that. Who he is, guess. Then I was looking a big belly, beard, looking up. It must be Agastya Muni. He said, "Yes, he is Agastya Muni, the founder of this path, Siddha lineage." So then it vanished. Actually, that was the process of initiation. Then he transferred the mantra, the sacred word, sound of Siddha meditation. That is the process of initiation. Actually, he was infusing his energy into me through a process, a technical process. But that was my beginning. So initiation over. Then I went to the forest. I started practicing. Now, what I saw during that particular moment of initiation, I can see anytime, anywhere, even now I'm looking at you, I can see that image on your forehead. Earlier it was a bit disturbing me. Later, wherever I look, I can see that. So I am connected to that Siddha lineage. So any problem comes, that problem will become secondary because primary thought is the Guru's thought. This is thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just fascinated by your whole journey and then your experience. I didn't know that you were going to tell me about your initiation. I was preparing to ask you about that, and then you just tell me how it happened. I love that. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but I would love to continue this conversation because I want to keep learning about your 4 years in the forest meditating and
Wow.
your experiences there and all the breakthroughs that you've been having. And we haven't even gotten to what you're doing today, like how you're helping people, how people can benefit from your teachings, even though they are doing 9 to 5, working real jobs, having families, how they can practice and benefit from your teaching. So I just want to thank you so much, Guruji, for sharing your wisdom through your own story today. It was very, very fascinating, and I really appreciate you so much.
I'm also really keen to continue talking to people like you who are sincere in the knowledge or exploring the knowledge of traditional experiences. And we can share with others. Like people are looking for peace. Peace cannot be established through guns. Peace can be established through peaceful minds. So we have to give people a way to make them or to find the peace from within. For that, these kind of conversations are necessary. So I am so happy to be with you, people like you, to share my experiences as much as possible. Looking forward to see you again. We will speak soon.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you.